To the final game of ECS North American Playoffs. Yes, a moment in history by which the last online best of 3 of Season 1 will be played. It is CLG going up against TSM, a rematch of sorts. We'll talk about that, of course. HenryG, how are you?
Very well. Like you said, it's the last game. It's been a long road, but we're going to find our final finalists today, so it's going to be exciting. Who's going to make it to London? That's the question on everyone's lips right now.
They're saying your mic isn't on, but it is on.
It's all on.
It's on. Are you plugged in correctly? Let's sort this out. Let's go through the steps together.
Okay. All right.
Where does that go? Follow the cable. Ah, the cable's not plugged into anything. Oh, yeah, this is so good. Are we there yet?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Is that better?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, let's start that again. Do you want to ask the question once more?
Yes. How are you, HenryG?
I'm very well. We're going to find the last finalist for the London finals. The road to London. It's all come down to this moment, the last online qualifier, and it's 2 American teams going toe-to-toe. I'm excited. There you go.
Well, we do have, of course, and you can see it on the right-hand side, see exactly what the route was, the previous matches to get here. We'll look quickly at the bracket because it's an important aspect and element to paint the picture better than both we and you can, obviously. For that matter. So Liquid has made it through. They join both Luminosity and Cloud9. So remember, and a reminder, the way that this worked is the top 2 teams qualified directly into the LAN from 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those 4 teams sort of had to battle it out in this playoff bracket, which you see. And I think this is a brilliant way of doing it because too many times we see an awkward tiebreaker or a situation where a team maybe had a forfeit in other leagues throughout the history of CS, and it caused another team to make it through.
Or anything like that. So,
yeah, well, all kinds of stuff, right? So, and if you look at Pro League, which is, I guess, if you go back to ECAI even, you look at sort of the team structures that they've had, there's always been situations like that. So this kind of solves all of that. So CLG, TSM, they played each other. We said this is a rematch. They played each other to start things off. CLG actually won that. And it was actually a 3-map series overtime that they needed to do it. So we'll get to that. And then, of course, Liquid beat up against Optic in the upper bracket to make it through, in the lower bracket to make it through, and then they beat CLG last night to fully qualify. Yeah. What do you reckon
for the game tonight?
I reckon it's time for the Score Esports pre-game breakdown.
That sounds like a good idea.
Now I want to know what you reckon for the game tonight.
Well, we saw this matchup yesterday. CLG versus TSM. Obviously, CLG a little bit weakened right now.
2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago?
Yes.
It wasn't last night?
No, last night it was CLG.
Okay, right. Well, regardless, we've seen it very recently, right? So it's all blended.
TSM Optic.
So it might be the first time we're here. Anyway, we've seen it quite recently. CLG, you would say, would be the favourite team historically in this matchup, but they are weakened right now. They have Pita playing for them. Fugly has left the lineup. It's kind of been announced as, well, I say left, he was kicked actually. He was actually quite vocal about that. It's Pita coming in, and although he's a decent CS player, and he's like a legendary 1.6 machine, it's not really transferring so far into CSGO. He's okay. He's not like he's bad. He's not like he's the dead weight of the team. He can have some really explosive rounds. Remember yesterday, he had that 4-man on Cobble, for example. So there are some glimmers of hope for them there. But yeah, I think this could be a real close one. Obviously, these guys, last time they played, we opened with cash. It was 16-1 in favour of CLG. We thought that set the tone for the series. Well, okay, well, this is it now. They're going to completely run over them. But it went to Cobble. And that's when TSM started clawing back. And then Train was overtime as well. So it's very difficult to kind of work out what TSM's going to turn up. Obviously, they have a lot of problems the way they function right now. There's lots of force spies coming in. Sometimes they don't let SEMPHIS get onto their AWP, which is, for me, a massive problem. Like, you remember, I was getting pretty mad for the whole situation.
Yeah, you were.
I was just like, why are you not letting your most influential players actually get on the AWP? And then when they did have buys, they had no grenades. That's a massive problem. And I think they probably could look back at those demos and think, well, that's obviously why we are losing rounds. So I feel like they're not going to allow the same mistakes to happen here. They know how much is on the line. It'd be good to see TSM at an international event. We've seen CLG plenty of times, obviously, but TSM not so much since this lineup's been formed. Yeah,
not this lineup at all since it's been formed. And you're right, it would be nice to see them have a nice little breakthrough. It'd be interesting to see if they brought Twistzz over for that. I assume he's in the lineup again tonight because they did play. Remember, that was the interesting thing. So they got beat 16-1, like you say, by TSM on map 1 with Twistzz in the lineup. They then played with Valens to close out that series. And as you say, to go overtime map 3, it was 16-14 on the first map that we're going to see tonight. So spoiler, Cobblestone. So that's where we actually start this evening.
Well, that's when TSM bounced back. So on Cobblestone. So they know how to play this map. And like you said, that's when they had their coach playing, which was a really weird turn of events. There were 2 coaches playing on the server. It was at the battle of
the coach.
Battle of the coach. That was
Valens versus Pita.
Yeah. So tonight they have their full lineup, presumably. Oh no, Valens is playing. He's on the server.
Well,
no, wait. So is Twistzz. So maybe he's just joining.
Okay, he's probably joining into his.
I just saw his name.
I do see the starting 5.
Okay,
that
so
was a panic.
It is
moment.
the normal 5.
Here's our maps of choice. CLG, excuse me, I was about to say CSM. CLG on the top. TSM on the bottom, ban order, overpass went out right away, so CLG gets rid of that immediately. Inferno comes out. Remember, it is still in the map pool for ECS, as the series and season did begin before that Valve change. So overpass goes out, then it's Cobblestone, Dust 2, ban on Mirage, Cash, and then if needed, we go to Train. So Train is actually the map that was the third one the other evening, and it was the one that did go into the overtime for the decider.
It's kind of nuts that CLG wouldn't pick Cash after they 16-1 them, right? They didn't pick that first. They picked up Dust 2.
Yeah, because it allowed it to be banned out. They banned Mirage and then the second ban.
That was an option. They 61 them. Why would you not play that again? Like, that was easy. You had your coach playing and you're beating them 61. Why is that not coming out?
And not only that, you pick the map that they actually beat you on. So CLG picked Cobblestone in this sense.
Oh, really? That doesn't make... Okay, that beta doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Are we sure that's right? That doesn't make...
That is right. So there you go. Cobble,
wow. Okay.
Dust, and Dust 2 as well, which is a wild card map in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I don't really know how to pick that apart. That doesn't make any sense at all. But there you go. Obviously, CLG lost them on Cobble, and they're the ones picking it. Maybe they've gone back, watched the demos, and realized what was the problem, and they can
could
pick
be
it up again.
A grudge issue. I mean, this is a land spot. This is an elimination match, so they're taking a big risk by playing it without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see what they can do. It didn't seem like a massively weak map for them. I feel like there was a lot of economical problems for them against TSM before, and we'll see how this one goes down. Are we into the pistol?
We are into the pistol. Tech 9 armor for Tarik, by the way.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the upper platform area. We've seen him in the rounds getting plenty of kills without smoke. We'll see what they bring to the table here. Pita, he's a support utility player. He's got the smoke and flashbang and the bomb as well. So his objective is just throw some grenades, get the bomb down. Not necessarily having the most firepower here, but here comes the first play. It's going to be Tarik in that drop down room. Here's the raid boss. That first kill, he's got control. But it's not going to be forcing in just yet. It's his teammates that go towards that upper platform. There it is, the first 2 kills going in favor of TSM.
Well done indeed from Sick and Twistzz, and it's autimatic to pick up 2. Over the shoulder. Twistzz will take hazed, but it was over the shoulder hazed. He found Pita. That wasn't even an intended target, I don't believe. But regardless, it's effective. TSM absolutely dominates CLG on the way through. Pick up a pistol on the CT side, something to build off of. Now, the question is, how do they approach this? Cobblestone's a very large map. We often talk about that, so you have to bring out rifles, and that's going to be the case. So only 2 SMGs. I don't disagree with this at all for TSM.
No, this is good so far. CLG not finding a single frag there, so they are going to be... And no bomb as well. That's a big problem. They're going to be forcing up in the second round. As you can see, JDM not purchasing a single thing. He's just got a Glock and no armor, so he will be getting the AWP in the first gun round, presumably. That would make sense. And they'll be holding up towards the B halls at the moment, seeing if they can do anything with this. You've got a smoke and a flashbang. And Tarik once more. Same situation with the pistol. We've got that Tech 9 towards the drop-down room, waiting to get positional control of that area. They're going to be biding their time for now, seeing if the CTs expend any more utility. Here comes the play. Exact mirror what we saw before, but this time Tarik picks up the first kill. He takes down Twistzz, and now it's up to SEMPHIS. Can he go through this upper platform area? It looks like he can. Gets a double kill with the MP7, looking for more here.
Ooh, hazed though. Hits 1 shot in return. It's going to be sick to hold this off with the FAMAS out. Last player alive. Cutler does manage to get him down with the Tech 9. So that's one of the rifles dropped. 2 total, but one of the ones that was still up and in the hands and ready to be wielded. They have to try and get FNS over. They want to try and collect these. This is actually quite a good round from CLG to do that much damage. And they do get to the FAMAS. FNS will pick it up, so they'll keep 2 rifles up at the least.
Regardless, though, it's a full EK from CLG, not another bomb plant. So they're going to be struggling with that first gun. They need to try and find a bomb here. It's going to be round number 3. Presumably nothing purchased whatsoever. For the reasons I spoke of before. But just 1, like a 2 P50s. They've got a smoke as well on Tarik. That smoke will probably be used towards the middle doors, maybe towards connector. You can throw a smoke just in front of the where they are right now, just to take away that vision from the CTs. They're close towards middle. Let's see if Tarik decides to throw that one. Goes straight in. Quiet. It should be SEMPHIS. Another, say, double kill, makes it a triple. That should be a round over. Finishes things off. And only 1 kill obtained from the terrorist there. So have a look at JDM's cash. He got enough for the AWP. He was full eco.
Look at SEMPHIS after using that SMG. He had 9K.
He got high rolling. And he got like 5 SMG kills, including the pistol. Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, he got 3 and then 2. So they're all SMG. That's big money. And yeah, so AWP straight up on him. Same story for JDM. You see the terrorists not with the healthiest supplies. They haven't got a plethora of Molotovs here, but they have got the smoke grenades. JDM with just the open armor. The B holes, the teams will be trying to find that opening frags here and give it boost from the CTs here. SEMPHIS, he hits the first shot. That's the work done now from fullback. Trying to get out of the right. SEMPHIS, in no man's land, he gets taken down. 4-4.
Smoke gonna bounce up over top, potentially from Pita, but they slow it off. It is down to 4. So they're one smoke light. One of the ones that they did have. He's down with the last smoke and Molotov, only bit of utility that CLG has to work with. So they're gonna rely on hazed to try and work this position, try and get the early entries. They've all gone back over to the A site. Hazed around the corner already. They've cleared out long, and this gives them a good chance as the rotations are coming in quite late right now from TSM. And autimatic gonna get Molotov out of position. Awkwardly hits the roof with his jump, and that could have cost him even more life. As he does go down to 68, and Cutler has decent position as well underneath of this balcony for the retake potential. As Twistzz gonna go for the long flank. So they need to find an entry right away. But they've got very good positions right now, CLG, to cut off all the choke points. There's the first exchange. Pita is going to take down FNS. JDM, easy shot into Sick and autimatic. He may get one through the door, but immediately traded, and Twistzz isn't in position fast enough.
Yeah, not really much he can do here. It's 3-on-1, but he does get the kill towards JDM, so there is a chance here. Bomb ticking away. He needs to add very quickly here. He's got the kid as well, and it's going to be the terrorist aware of position. That's a decent incendiary. That should force hazed to face. There it is. The Twistzz now probably opting out of his round, trying to save the AWP. So he takes a couple of shots in, actually takes down Cutler in the process. So there it is. And will be Twistzz opting out of this round, but managing to save the AWP. That's pretty massive. I think the CT still do have enough cash to buy here, but it's going to be CLG with that first gun round there. After SEMPHIS got the first pick, it was surprising that he ran into such an open position after finding the pick. I think he spotted multiple players there as well. I think he's just hoping for the best. They could have slowed that down a little bit and made them force and try and take an unfavourable situation, but there it is. CTs will be buying back into this, especially with that ult. The SEMPHIS back into that one. You can see it's a much weaker buy there. They have 2 kits and a lack of grenades on 2 players, FNS and SEMPHIS. We go into round number 5. The terrorists, though, they've only got 3 AKs, so coming down to 1-on-1 definitely has affected them. Still, this is a massive round for both teams here. Whoever loses is probably on an eco. A great chance for CLG to get back in, or TSM to increase their lead. Once again, looking like a beast. It's going to be Tarik on JDM. Just flashing in, seeing what he can find. Now it's going to be trying to get control somewhere. They can get towards this drop down room, smoking towards the window side just to eradicate a possibility of a CT being in that window. Goes in. This would be the play at this point.
JDM flashed around the corner by Cutler. This will put him back on the other side as he tries to push the opposite approach from drop room. It's autimatic that greets him at the window.
Yeah, that smoke really isn't working in his favour. Actually gave the CT a lot of vision there. But Tarik is doing some work here with the AK-47 on the platform. Takes down Twistzz. It's still a man advantage for the CT. Make it even more so now. And it's a complete whitewash there. And finding 1 kill. It's going to be Twistzz that goes down. But that's going to be CLG on a full eco at this point. After winning that first gun round, it's a full reset. And they're already on pistols and AKs at that round. So only $1,400 coming in this time. And presumably, we'll take an eco here. We'll see what they decide to do. Time ticking away. Just a PT50 purchase, so this is what we like to see though, like it's not still early stages here. Teams like TSM, as we said in the pre-game, they love force buying every situation they can. If they can afford even 1 or 2 AKs, they'll be doing it. But CLG going for the long game here. They know a player like JDM, they need him on the AWP just to get those and get them their first picks and have the utility to actually execute on the bomb site. This will be a throwaway round. This is almost guaranteed going 5-1 at this stage. 1 flashbang on Cutler, that's about all they have to work with here. I'm not even sure there's much point in trying to have map presence here. Just do the flash, hope for the best, see if the Glox can do anything.
Well, SEMPHIS is the one that's going to confront. That was a preemptive strike. That was just a fire into a blinded flashbang, and the timing works out. He's got a 2nd kill on top of it, and they close the round. That is so effective. TSM up to 5-1. Just that single flash not really accomplishing much, and even though it did catch SEMPHIS, he still found the kill. It makes it even worse in some matters.
Yeah, most AWPers, when you get flashed in that situation, you just pull the trigger after 2 seconds and hope for the best. It does work out. There is another buy now for CLG. It's not the best though. Like I said, if they can get JDM on the AWP, this time it's a glass cannon, things can happen. He's 1 for 6 right now. Hasn't had the most impact. Let's see what he can do going into round number 7. 3 Galils though. That is a problem. Huge advantage in terms of the buy for the CTs. It's currently 5-1 on a T-sided affair of Cobble. And the bomb going towards long A. That's going to be in the hands of Pita. autimatic waiting for him. And 3 of the CLG players towards B. So this will be the fake at this point. They're throwing over all the smokes and probably leave 1 player there just to gain some aggro. And that's exactly what's happened. He gets taken down straight away. That's Tarik. And now you're going to see nothing else is coming in. They'll start rotating back towards A. And nothing's really happened on the A side of the map. You're going to do fakes like this. You need to have some sort of reaction. As soon as that player dies, they need to be shoving all in before the rotations are allowed to become a thing for the CTs.
This goes down to FNS though, and again, TSM looking to pick up what would be their third in succession, so it's not even a full loss bonus going the way of CLG right now. Bomb plant's going to be crucial to try and get guns up in the next round. They bought pretty much fully into this one. Oh, easy shot from Pita, though, with that flash not exactly working out. He's able to dodge it in time, and FNS thinks he's fully blinded. Yeah, it was a bit of an overcommitment there, but this has opened the floodgates for all the terrorists. Going to make their way towards that APC area. It's Cutler going in first. Decent utility usage, but autimatic coming out on top, and sick. Easy spray down for him, but it's just a JDM at this point. Coming to the bomb site, has 30 seconds, but not enough to work with here. It's going to be sick to find a final kill. And at that point, I thought the CTs had overcommitted after finding that first pick. The flash comes in, they face towards it, but pushed all the way around the corner. It's just him by himself at that point. Can't be backed up by his teammates, but CLG, they made the original mistake. That B fake needed to be faster towards A. As soon as Tarik went down, they needed to be shoving all in that stage, but round number 8, there's another eco for CLG. I would say the favoured team, but it's really difficult to call when they have Pita playing. You never know what kind of CLG is going to turn up. We've seen some turbulent results with them, but now we see a double AWP setup from TSM. We discussed this pretty heavily yesterday, Matt. I think it's one of the least viable maps for a double AWP setup in terms of like the full execution. You've got to have 2 very fast operators to make it work, because there's so many angles to cover off inside of the sites. It's great for getting those first picks. If you're going aggressive like towards middle or long A and then going to the upper platform, you're finding kills, that's amazing. But if you're allowing executions to come in, it can be very difficult to hold off those wall of smoke. So it's the first kill from Twistzz. He's holding it towards that drop down area, takes on Cutler. And he's going to allow them to have it. Just smokes him out for now. FNS should be 3 kills here. Just he gets 1. That's only 1. Hazed is able to get him back through the smoke. They shot autimatic. Now they're forced back, and the Molotov's going to keep him out of line. There's no smoke on the doorway, so they still have to confront at some point in time. Sick's going to try and rotate from that, but he's at 14 HP. So this gets a little bit awkward. Thankfully, SEMPHIS is there. He's going to hit at least 1 shot, and there's the closeout. So they do get it in the end. But low HP on autimatic and sick. That could have been a far less comfortable situation. 5 rounds now against CLG in a row. Yes. Actually, I think it's 4. So it's 3-1, so 7-1. It's going to be 4 rounds. It's not a quite full bonus, but it is enough for them to buy this time, no matter what. It's another glass cannon, though, for JDM. He's got a couple of flashbangs. There's no armor at all. That makes you very prone to the headshot of the M4, wallbangs, HE grenades. And on Cobble, that's a massive problem. There's a lot of preemptive positions you can throw those HEs in towards at the start. So he'll be holding up defensively towards the top middle this time. It's not going to be a full B attack. Looking at his first pick. This could actually happen for JDM. Oh, look at that angle though from SEMPHIS. It was looking very promising for him, but as soon as he doubted himself and moved back into towards a tighter position, that's when JDM finds him. It's going to be a 5-4 now. At this point, though, CLG probably want to wait for the CT reaction. You can see autimatic's got himself up to the platform. He's got the AWP. He's looking for that next pick. And CLG don't need to give them this. Make sure they use their utility correctly and push these back before they lose the first man. autimatic is checking that corner with a Molotov, hoping that he can catch someone transitioning away from the flames, but no one is. Smoke to cover off the arch. Defensive smoke from autimatic so he can fall back, not get caught without his angle covered off. Doesn't want to give them a chance to slip through as SEMPHIS has gone down. TSM's a man light. The next pick, if it goes against them, could essentially write the round off. Tarik's going to get aggressive, and that is the pick. Very well done from Tarik. Self-flash through the smoke with the right click, and then fast in. He's got another shot on a Twistzz. He's doing it all himself right now. And it's just going to be TSM trying to stay alive in this. It's reset territory for CLG, so thankfully at this point they still have 5 players alive. Yeah, that's a massive benefit for them going forward. The only round they won before, they only managed to keep 1 player alive, and that's why they've been struggling ever since. But all 5 this time should start help building some bankroll here. And we'll be reinvesting there. It still won't be amazing. They'll have to reinvest on all the grenades. That will cost them most of the 1 bonus, but we'll see how this goes down in the next round. It's going to be FNS and Sick saving their weapons here. If they can get any exit kills for the same reasons we just stated, that would be great just to take down that utility and weapons of CLG here. But they will be keeping all 5 alive by the looks of things. Exiting out through T-spawn. For this. Haven't recovered any of those double AWPs, so that's a little bit of an issue. FNS picking up an AK at the end. And we'll see, yeah. So the money's okay for this terrorist now. Get the grenades, get the armor that was missing. That's still pretty precarious in terms of the reset potential. Still 2 players on around 4K, so they should be okay. But we'll see how it goes down in round number 10. 7-2 now in favour of TSM. Just a single AWP setup. So like I said, as soon as they bring out double AWP, that's when things start going wrong. There's SEMPHIS who have to go aggressive towards that long A position. Looking for the first kill, but taking down by JDM. That was the beginning of the downfall in the CT half. Tarik into the smoke, as per custom. It's incredible how many times he gets kills on that as well. I mean, you think it's something that everybody would know about him at this point in time.
Just need to watch one demo. And
or, unless they watch it, they think, I'll be behind the box, he won't get me.
Yeah, every time someone jumps up, he seems to find them. So, I like this boost from FNS. This is a position you can use once or twice a half. Normally good for one frag, as long as you've got someone to back you up, like autimatic is, just making sure he's watching in the rear of that. It's going to be the drop down, looking like an A split here potentially, as they do get control of drop down and connector as well. hazed with the first frag, so this is looking very promising for CLG.
Pick up from Tarik on to SEMPHIS. Goes down at the hands of Twistzz though, so 2 kills for Twistzz could turn this back because now 2 versus 2, very low HP for Twistzz though on 5, but it gives them a massive chance when they tried to go for that drop split to A. JDM hasn't committed just yet. No smokes left. They have to fight this directly, and JDM already crossing the doorway is going to be looking toward that balcony position. Even though Twistzz has the 5 HP, if he misses the op shot, which he absolutely does not, there would be a chance for retaliation, but now it's just sick. Spots JDM, that's bombed down. 24 seconds, but he's got no idea at this point where Pita is. And it's the coach versus Sick to try and make this play. He has at least picked up the bomb. He'll get the plant safely in behind the hut. But not before a little bit of pre-fire that gives him away. And now Sick's going to try and take advantage of this. Try and gamble on his position. And as he gets on top of the APC, that makes a very distinctive noise trigger. But he still manages to find Pita.
Yeah, nice play there from Sick. Getting on the APC gives him a nice vantage point to look at all of the bomb site. Makes a ton of footsteps, but he had time to work with when the 3.5-second plant comes in there from Pita. But TSM win the round. We did discuss that reset potential, but it seems absolutely fine after getting the bomb down. It's an extra $800, so that keeps them in contention of a full buy here. All gets dropped to JDM, but they'll be struggling after this round. So 8-2 TSM. They've still got tons of cash here. You can see SEMPHIS with 5k, Sick with 7, Morty with 3.2 after the rebuy. So they should be good for one round as well. We'll see how number 11 goes down. They'll be working with that all for JDM presumably as they start facing towards long A once again. Just autimatic waiting for them.
JDM around the corner, but toward long is trying to force autimatic back a little bit inside of the A position, but he does catch off Tarik to SEMPHIS. autimatic has given up that entirety of long. That's going to rotate the bomb back over, having lost the first pick on the B side. So good play from SEMPHIS as FNS is going to read this well and rotate. No smoke off in that door, and it's going to cost them at least 1 kill before they can try to get back into FNS. autimatic's made his way back toward the platform as well. SEMPHIS over top of the APC. One shot spots another toward Stables, but Cutler and Pita set up a crossfire, and now Pita fails to jump to get up on top of the hut on the bomb site itself. Does wrap around though and give away the information to autimatic, but it is just Cutler. 1 versus 2 now. And he's going to go down on the reload.
Decent round there from CLG. They managed to get 3 kills and the bomb did make it to the site, but unfortunately unable to make the frags work for themselves there. They did focus towards long A pretty heavily. autimatic doing what he could to slow them down and allow the retakes to come in, and that's the big round for CLG. This will be another eco at this point. It's round number 12 and 9-2.
And again, they picked this map. They got beat on it in the first best of 3.
Like, I'm not wrong in saying that beta didn't make sense though, right?
I don't think that made any sense.
It's not me just thinking overreacting. I thought that was crazy. Like they didn't choose cash on the opportunity. The map they 16-1 this team on, this very team. And they choose the map that they actually lost against. It was 16-14. It just doesn't make a single bit of sense to me. Maybe it's a message saying we're not scared of you, we're willing to play on your best map. Maybe it's something like that, I have no idea. But this is a real silly time to send those messages out, considering what's on the line. This is for London map. It's a big land for these guys. And this should be a throwaway round at this point. Just the pistols here for CLG, no force buy. First 3 kills going in favour of TSM. And just going to be easy kills here. Pito gets 1, but that's about all he'll get. So solid round there for TSM. 10-2 now. We go to the next one. JDM can't buy an AWP once again. No one can. In fact, oh, hazed can drop on if he wanted to, but looks like JDM will be on the AK. Not going to be dropped a weapon. So he's one of those AWPers we say he's probably the best AWPer in NA, but in terms of complete player, certainly not. He's not proficient in the rifles.
It's actually remarkable that he is so successful and still puts up reasonable numbers being that inconsistent with rifles, because usually...
I wouldn't say inconsistent, I'd say he's consistently bad with them, to be fair.
Fair enough, okay. So lack of proficiency, like you were saying, I mean, usually you need to find a well-rounded player to put up good numbers in most games. Somehow JDM, when he does get the op, still manages to make up enough kills that it looks all right. And there's very few oppers with that much skill on one weapon to make up for their lack of others. So you have to give him credit in that sense, but you're dead right. I mean, when economy is not on the side of CLG, it definitely haunts them time and time again. They do get the opening pick here, though, as hazed is going to work down into the drop room. Flash out on the arch. SEMPHIS, though, not facing, and neither is Sick, but good crossfire set. Although SEMPHIS in this position has an AWP, so he has to get a peek toward that long position. That's why he puts the smoke out, because he tries to shuffle himself in toward the alley. Timing's off, though, and Tarik is able to take down Sick as soon as he unscopes. Pita walks around, he gets him. Now CLG is going to just walk in with the round. All 5 staying alive, and that's a very important factor. Again, building this economy. 2 rounds left, but a loss here, and they might still be able to force out into the next because of that, which is huge to pick up potentially a 4th round if they can't get 5.
Yeah, I want CLG that is getting that first pick and capitalizing. Assertive play. Tarik opening things up, and then his teammates rushing in, and we've got a different buy here. It's going to be the auto sniper coming out on Sick. Can be, and actually, I don't think that's viable at all on this map. I feel like that's a little bit of a silly purchase. See what he can do. He can smoke towards upper platform, maybe go towards chicken coop and spam through the smokes. But as soon as they hear that, they're going to probably do a full smoke execute and take him out of the round, maybe Molotov him out of position as well. See how this goes down. 10-3 though, the CT half. Just so anyone who's not familiar with Cobble necessarily, that's a massive score. It's normally a T-sided map. I guess in this matchup, it kind of makes sense. I'm talking about that's the kind of results when it's top-tier teams playing, when they're playing proper execution, they know exactly what they're doing. CLG playing with the coach might not necessarily have that depth of strategy and the coordination to actually have those very strong T-sides here, but we'll see what they decide to do. Working the picks right now, they're going to look towards drop-down room. They're going to see no one's there for now, so they probably will decide to get in there. Got the flashbang essentially coming in from Twistzz and FNS here.
He's just going to wait, just make sure no one walks back through to reoccupy that space. When he walks around the corner, he goes slow enough to find not only one into Twistzz, but also FNS. So checking the off angles. He's doing a very good job to make sure all things are considered. But one thing he didn't account for was SEMPHIS so close with the AWP, and autimatic's made a fast flank on this. He's coming to long already. It's down to it's 1 versus 2. He does pick up Cutler immediately. Bomb planted. Pita's going to know exactly where he is. Nade's going to start it off with good damage. In fact, goes the other way. The bullets hit first, and the nade kills. autimatic going to go grab an AWP. And the defuse is going to come in. So remember, CLG, this is what I was saying. TSM is going to pick up round number 11. It's going to reset them again, but because they had such an efficient round the one before, they'll be able to buy up. It's not going to be perfect, but definitely weapons and most utilities required to make a round out of this.
I think they're okay because they got the
Actually,
bomb
yeah, they are okay, yep.
Yeah, like it would have been a little bit difficult without the bomb. They wouldn't have had everything, but the bomb plant definitely helped. So the last round's okay, but it's 11-3. They desperately need this last round after another tense situation as the clutches aren't falling in their favor. It's autimatic. He's the long A player for the CTs. He's coming in for that upper platform rotation, finds 3 kills and a smart play on the 1 versus 1 as well. It seems like Pita's been left in a lot of these clutch situations, and the weakest player on the team, that's not what you want. You want your big fraggers there. But unfortunately, it's normally we're used to seeing Cutler in his clutches, and he's not had the opportunity so far. So he'll be hazed. Getting the first pick, though, once again. CLG Pita capitalize this time. Surely this is the one, as Pita does find the kill towards FNS as well.
Push out again from autimatic. That's twice now that he's been very aggressive toward that A position, and it's going to catch off Pita. Bomb's already rotating back over to B. JDM inside of the site, but SEMPHIS is going to find hazed, and JDM had the lineup toward the door, but he unscopes the wrong time. SEMPHIS is able to pick up the kill, and it's down to just Cutler and Tarik, both on side of the B site. Cutler's going to go for the fast plant. No smoke, although he does have one in front of him, so that's going to leave him exposed. Thankfully, he just gets back around the corner. But Sick, oh, caught out. Perfect flash. This pulls it back 2 versus 2. That's so well thrown from Tarik.
Well, the bomb's going to be ticking away now. It's the last round. Nothing to save. CT's coming in there. Sorry, Cutler going to be flicking through the smoke. He's low HP as well. Needs to be very careful there. But it's a good play. He finds SEMPHIS. That's a dream situation. It's just autimatic now. Cutler's on 1 HP, but I don't think autimatic's going to do anything about this. This incendiary could be interesting, though. Goes for fake defuse. Cutler's up behind the corner. There's the first kill. And now he needs to find one more, but he can't do it. Tarik finishes things off. And Matt, someone's been tweeting me. They're saying, from what they can see, it was TSM that picked Cobblestone and CLG that picked Dust 2. Which would make slightly more sense.
I had it as the other way around.
That's all right. Someone's tweeted. That might not be accurate.
So unless the graphic that we had was wrong, and HLTV has it listed differently, that would make way more sense.
Yeah.
That would make a lot more sense in the bracket. But the graphic that I had it's CLG on the top, so.
I'll check HLTV and see.
Okay, it was confirmed. TSM did pick Cobble. Okay. That makes way more sense.
Right, okay.
So that sorts out a lot of things, because I was super, super concerned with them picking this map. And now it does sort of justify the scoreline a little bit more. 11-4 as we start the second half. TSM going to start on this T side. It's going to be like a pretty aggressive buy. They want to just get in the site. They want to go in with brute force, hence why everyone's buying armor, not that single smoke we often see on Cobblestone to try and get in toward the B site.
All 10 players on armor here, so this is going to be deathmatch mode. Stick together. The Glock train's coming in towards long A. Pita needs to be very careful here as he's deciding to fall back, and maybe they know this is the position he plays. And I think we saw that a couple of times. He's always left on that A side by himself. It's going to be here to get the first confrontation. He lands the headshot as well towards Twistzz. Looking for more here, not going to be falling back just yet.
He's taken down though by SEMPHIS. Pita's going to get one more. Oh, out of bullets, and he goes for the knife. Nearly lands it as well. It wouldn't have done the kill, but it would have done a decent amount of damage. And now FNS, he's going to square off against Cutler. And has to be careful. Oh, JDM goes low. Has to be a little bit careful of his position. If he gives this up, Bomb's got an opportunity, but it's on the B side. It's already planted. Oh! It's across over. FNS is going to take down the shot on Cutler. This is going to pull JDM back. They know it's inside of the B side. Autimatic has so much time and space. He's going to get in behind the door. So they're going to lock them inside a connector, but an over commitment from FNS is going to drop him down. Tarik was still in behind him. I like the Autimatic's position behind the doorway, but now he knows he's got to get a little bit more up close and personal. Oh, first Glock and a headshot. That's brilliant from Autimatic.
The burst fire, we don't normally expect to work out for the players there. I thought the first kill was 1 HP, sure, but the second, it's not like 1.6 in source with the burst fire. It's actually very beneficial and useful in certain situations. It's almost useless in both, but he makes it work. That's very impressive from Autimatic. You hear both players, a ton of footsteps coming from drop down there. It was a tight situation. Obviously, the CTs have no kits. We saw those 5 sets of armor. And it's going to be TSM there. 12-4 now, looking very strong. No force by whatsoever from the CTs. There should be a guaranteed round for TSM, but I said that with bated breath as anything can happen in online CS, but here comes the first kill. It's going to be Twistzz to pick it up. Taking down Pita, like we said, he's always alone on that A side, which is, for me, an interesting decision considering you would say he is possibly the weakest player on the team. It's a lot of responsibility to hold that side by yourself, but I guess it's just a full eco at this point. Can't really read too much into it.
Additional smoke for Twistzz onto that doorway, so they can't allow an access point before the bomb does go down. Celik will pick up Tarik. Still trying to find anyone who's burrowed into this stairwell position so that they can try and get a gun on the exit, but they're just going to save what they have. Not much. It's really only the PT-50 on Cutler. In fact, hazed and JDM, essentially, they know there's an SMG up, and they don't want to give away any frag money at this point in time.
Well, that's the thing. With those SMGs, they farm $600 a kill, right? So if you allow them to kill you, and you've got nothing really to gain, you know you're not going to have advantageous position in terms of the exits. It's not really worth giving them that money. So this will be turtling up in the B sites. They haven't really invested in it to this round. There's nothing really to say. Just denying the money. Cutler picks up a Mac 10. Let's see what he can do with that one. But TSM getting a touching distance now of the first map. It's been quite a quick map. I think it's been a storyline for all these NA games. Lots of fast-paced rounds and simple decisions. I think I discussed this before. The NA playstyle on Cobble especially is all about us working that first pick on the upper platform and trying to force your way into the bomb site with a brute aim. That's normally how we see it go down. The EU playstyle can be a little bit more methodical and showing fakes, and like we see, especially Dignitas, they're my favourite teams watching this now. Every time they get from mid-control, push the CTs back before they make any sort of move in terms of frags. So there is something to note there. But second round, well, third round I should say, yeah, 10 not really working out as Pita gets taken down straight away. This is a weird buy from the CLG.
He's out, downed immediately. Twistzz with the pickup. Sick goes into JDM immediately after as well. Cutler's going to have that shotgun, but not sure which way to look. He gets dropped by SEMPHIS. You'd think he would have just stared at the drain grate, or rather, excuse me, the vent, because it would have been Tarik to cover off the other angle. He does pull back 2 immediately after, but 3 onto 1. Bomb down. Tarik does have a kit. They've triangulated his position. Twistzz is just going to assassinate him. It's down to 2 rounds left for TSM.
Could I have a look at the scoreboard, please?
Celik.
Yeah, so they lost a pistol, fully ecoed the second, and then bought into the third, which is why you saw like scouts, max 7s, 1M4. So it was an interesting decision, but now, yeah, they're pretty much out of this now. They're going to have to force buy once again. Now it's max 7s, CZs, 5.7s, got grenades, but they've just got no firepower to actually challenge on a single rifle. And shotguns, normally I'd say one shotgun's a thing. You can actually be a little bit sneaky and have the rifles bait you in, but this situation is not really. It's up to FNS though. He seems like he wants to give the kill away, but gets decent timing and a double kill as well.
So apparently doesn't care about giving it away, but rather taking 2 back. Twistzz is going to spot the player behind the statue, and Pita might get one here with the shotgun cannon. Find it. Autimatic pre-lined it up despite being on just a mere 8 HP. 15 rounds now. TSM to the 4 of CLG. So the first map going their way. It makes a lot more sense that Dust 2's picked up by CLG. That's actually a reasonable map for them. You go way back in the history of CLG, although obviously not this particular lineup. It was 2 different players. They had FNS still, and they were playing with Pita, not JDM. That was when they got their first major international success.
Just to reiterate, though, they played this team 2 nights ago.
I agree with you.
16-1. Yeah. Play that, surely. Like, I haven't seen this team play Dusty yet in terms of Pita in the lineup. So,
yeah, that's the problem.
So I have no idea. I can't really tell you what's going to go down here. It's going to be the force by, though, once again from CLG. They get the first 2 frags, but the TSM fighting back here. His kill might decide it. Autimatic gets it, but Tarik with the scout. Still a 3-on-2 in their favor.
FNS can't quite line. Oh, Tarik, nice shot onto Cutler. Now he knows Tarik's behind the rock as well. Haven't found Pita just yet, but they're not concerned about it. They just want to deal with Tarik first, and they've successfully done so. Pita, scout in hand. Apparently hazed likes to be blessed by Fallen. Who wouldn't?
Well, he's got a scout and 2 low HP players to find, so this instance is like an orb. And he doesn't land the first shot. Going to be weighing up his options here. He's got a Molotov and the lower sniper rifle here, but he does get smoked out. That's actually quite beneficial to him, but there's a decent plan here from the Terror to over here in the footset. Now I know he's close, and he's close in his position. As soon as he takes 1 shot, he will be taken down. It's literally unwinnable at this point. The way they're lined up, there's nothing you can do. There it is. 16-4 will be the first map result here. That was TSM's pick, to reiterate. We obviously...
And I just go back to your point about Dust 2 as well. We haven't seen it with Pita. Dust 2 is an interesting map because although it's more pug style, on the CT side, it's so spread out that there's not one player that can get away without winning duels.
Yep.
So everyone has a very, very distinct responsibility, whether you're anchoring long, making sure they can't take over pit, whether you're playing on catwalk or in CT spawn, if you're the opera at car, if you're in the B site or mid, you have to win the aim duels, and that's why Pita is sort of the weak link that really I look strongly at in that sense.
I feel like CLG need to start T side on Dust 2. They need to be the ones having that, like, utilising the spawns, like JDM start rolling. He had a very quiet game there. Obviously, can't really do much. It looked like they're pretty uncoordinated. They're not really that comfortable on Cobble necessarily. So Dust 2, yeah, get the T side first. Let's just run default. Let's have some decent mid-round calls at this point. I assume Pita's calling right now. Like, I don't know how intense his role is in CLG. Obviously, it was Cutler before, who was the in-game leader. Do you have any intel on that?
I know they were trying Pita as the full in-game leader. That was what they were moving toward. I don't know what point in time they are on that timeline. Right, okay. I don't know where they are on that.
That's what a lot of teams seem to be doing at this point. Like,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part of it is that Valve is seemingly not to condone the 6th man being in-game.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with. I mean, I know their argument to try and make it more like the actual experience that players have at home, but if you're going to do that, you give players on 128 tick servers, so you're already creating a double standard. Regardless of whether or not they're in-game, it's still doable to call. It just means you kind of have to have a lot more going on in your head and being able to look at multiple monitors and retaining information faster.
Yeah, I think it's a weird feature for them to add to the game that you're going to deny them actually using it at your own events, right? It's why even make the feature. It doesn't. Yeah. It makes it redundant at that point, doesn't it? There's no point using it at any other event because it's not used at the biggest ones. So, yeah, that's another topic entirely. Maybe we'll do a podcast one day and we can...
Maybe one day. Kickstart us.
Yeah.
Kickstart us. Don't kickstart.
Well, there it is, 16-4. It's very difficult to analyse it. You can see CLG very uncomfortable on that one. Don't really have much to work with in terms of the executions. They are playing with their coach. These guys do live in a house, though. And
they do.
It's not like Pita doesn't know the strategy.
Most people live in a house, just to clarify.
They live in a house together. The gaming house. But obviously, like, Pita is there with them all the time. He knows all the strats. When it comes up with a lot of them, it's not like he'll be lost. It's a similar situation to what we saw Threat coming in for NIP at the major, and they seem to be pretty good. Like, Threat wasn't lights out playing for them, but he was just average and managed to get them into legendary status. So it's not like it's a massive issue.
That was a win for them. That's a big win for NIP in that sense.
I would say so. And Dust 2, I feel like TSM, that's going to be every team's comfortable with Dust 2, right? I think it's very rare. Like, Luminosity is the only team I can think of in terms of the top echelons of CS, or maybe VP as well. That don't feel comfortable with Dust 2. I think, like, American teams with, like, famously love playing pugs together and all that sort of thing, I feel like they'll be very comfortable in this.
Well, we'll see if that's the case. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will jump into map 2, see if TSM can close it out against CLG, get revenge for the first playoff game that these two had. We'll be back in just a second.